Hello guys and welcome back. I'm excited to declare that we are starting a new section, and we are starting section 9 CSS Grid and CSS Layout. So because I was so keen, I already watched the first video, and basically we just described that we're going to be going over how we can make our websites even more responsive and easier ways of doing it, rather than using Bootstrap and other tools, other templates like that, to make our own templates and make it all really responsive and really cool. I kind of suspected that this was the case, that there was an easier way than using Bootstrap. That's why obviously I did experiment with it, and I did learn everything that I needed to, but I didn't go full in depth, because I kind of got the idea that we would have something more simpler and more developer friendly for us to use. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be this. So I already watched the first first video. I'm pretty sure we're going to do 89, 90 and maybe 91, but we'll see how it goes. So let me crack on, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Okay, welcome back. So that was just a quick overview of the difference between a Flexbox and a CSS Grid, and basically they're both quite similar but yet different, and they both have similar purposes. So CSS Grid is more two-dimensional with different blocks and different shapes, whereas a Flexbox is more linear, which can have positives and negatives for either or. And basically going on about how we're going to use these techniques to actually make our own work, and how by doing it our ways and not using something like Bootstrap, which was also again mentioned that it was amazing when it first came out, but now there's less of a need for it, as with actual CSS Grid you can actually learn the methods behind what Bootstrap does, rather than just using it itself, so then you have more flexibility. So basically that was that video, and I'll have a look at the quick notes and then move on to this is going quite quickly, so I'll move on to 91 and look at the first CSS Grid video. So see you in a bit. Hello and welcome back. So, fun stuff actually. We have completed the step 91, which is amazing, and we're flying through these. Absolutely flying through these. Much easier than JavaScript, to be honest, because obviously we're building on things that I've already learned. And for instance, in this one, I know it looks very complicated, but we were already given this index. So we've already given all of this and the styles, and this doesn't mean that I don't know what this means. I know everything that it means. For instance, here the blue, and then we have the background of the blue colors, and then we have it so that the top part is this much color, and then we have at 44% it's this much color, and at 100% it's this much color, and all of this for all the different colors, for instance. And then we have our little zones, and you know what happens if you know we have our cursor pointed at it, and the sizes and whatnot. And then here we just have the actual, you know, different zones plus the emojis or little pixel arts and whatnot. So it is relatively cool, and what's even cooler is that we actually you know, began using Css Grid. So how that works is we have a container, so we put all of these inside of a container, and then we added display, and you know, we had, I'm pretty sure it was display flex for Flexbox, and here we have display grid, so we're using the CSS grid system. And then what we could use is, you know, we can have here we can have, you know, for instance, grids of 300 pixels, and if we do that and refresh, our grid is 300 pixels. And if we do, you know, another one, then we can have another 300 pixels. And if we do another one, we can do, you know, another 300 pixels or 600 or however many pixels. And you know, it always changes, but that doesn't make it any more responsive, you know. And we can also do things like adding percentages in, so we have 300 pixels. I'm not sure if you can actually combine it. Let's give it a try. And then 50%. Can you have pixels and percentages? Well, we will see. And it seems like you can. Yes, you can. So we have some pixels and then we have some percentages, and it kind of locks out at this point, which is quite cool. But the best way of going about this is actually doing these FRs, which just means fractions. So it shows you different fractions that we have. So if we just have one FR, then we're going to get just one fraction inside of the page. If we have two, then we have two. If we have three, and they're all one FR, they're all going to be the same size. But if one of them is 2 FR, and we save this and refresh this, then you can see that it changes. And if we had, you know, this one as, let's say, 4 FR, I'm not sure if the page might be a bit too slim for that. No, that's a possibility. So we can see it's quite neat. The way, you know, you can go about doing this. You know, if you really wanted to, you could have 4, and you know, the list goes on and on. So I'll just put it back to the original schematic, and well, that's what we have so far, and I'm quite enjoying this. You know, this is, no offense to Bootstrap, but this is much more simpler way about going about things than, you know, previously we had like 12 different sections, and you had to figure out, okay, this first one we're going to make that a 4, the second one we're going to make that a 5, so what does the last one have to be for it to fill the whole page, and then you have to do like all sorts. Whereas here with fractions, you can just say, oh, I want 3 grids, the first 2 are 1s, the second one is 2, you know, so it's like 1/3, 1/3, and then, no, 1/4, 1/4, and then 2/4, and then that way you can, you know, just combine all of this. And lastly, as you could probably guess, gap of 20 pixels just means that we have 20 pixels in between, which is really good in the way that the responsiveness is actually incorporated with the 20 pixel gap. So around the edges, you will always have 20 pixels with this FR system. If we had, you know, pixels and whatnot, we could have, you know, gaps which are nasty and we don't always want. So that's why this is amazing. And I think the plan is for me to end this video here, and then do the next steps, which will be CSS Grid 2, 3, 4, and 5, and maybe optional exercise, we don't know, but we'll see. Do all of them in the next episode, and then, you know, we can crack on. And I mean, yeah, I think this is going to be a quite, you know, fast-paced little course, because to be honest, I'm quite enjoying it, and it's quite neat and entertaining to do. So let's get on, and I'll see you in a bit. Actually, what am I on about? I won't see you. I'll end this video and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.